I'm from southern Japan. City name is Miyazaki. Miyazaki. I grew up by the ocean,
Nice.
and the area that I have grown up is a mecca for surfing. So many people actually from outside come to surf and also to fish.
Okay.
It's not very big. It's rather smaller, and I think maybe the town that I grew up in was about 40,000 people. My brother still lives there.
Nice.
Yes, nice little place. I think in general, the taste or the flavor of the hometown is sweet. Same thing in China, that in this area they use a lot of salt, or this area is spicy. I think it's the same thing in Japan, that Japan is smaller in terms of size, but it's very long from, from the north to the south.
Yes.
So we tend to say like the people in the north tend to consume a lot more salt. So their flavor, the dishes they prepare are a little more saltier, I think. But for the people in the south, that I think we tend to use a lot more sugar.
Mhm.
So where when I grew up, for example, in omelet, my mom would put a little bit of sugar in it,
Oh,
so it's slightly sweet.
that's fun.
Soy sauce is also sweet. For example, when you go to Tokyo and you just buy a bottle of soy sauce, it's the regular soy sauce. It's salty. But if you come to my hometown, we have two different kinds of soy sauces. One is the regular soy sauce that we use for cooking, but the other one that I have, we use is sweet. My mother cooks.
Mom cook.
My father doesn't. What I have thought about first when you ask me questions about what's my favorite dish, there are just too many to list. But the one thing that I always ask my mom when I go home
Hmm?
is this chicken dish called chicken Nanban. So it's a dish that I actually was developed in my hometown. But it takes so long to prepare. There's so many steps that you have to take to prepare. People do go to the restaurant and eat, but if you're from that home, from that area, your mom will cook it for you. But it's not something that we can eat every day
Hmm.
because it's so time consuming.
You
But
s-
every time I go home, I do ask my mom to cook it for me. It's a deep fried chicken. After we deep fry, we dip it in a vinegar sauce. It's like we put vinegar, a little bit of salt, and then sugar, and
oh,
also a little bit of a hot chili pepper in it. So that's a dipping sauce, sweet and sour.
oh, the sauce.
And then we put a sauce that we use mayonnaise and eggs. We call tartar sauce. And then we put the chicken, then the whole like a piece of fried chicken in it, take it out,
And then
and
put,
then we prepare a different kinds of sauce to put on it. Think it's because, Jason, that there are many things that I miss from home when, I've been living outside of Japan for for more than a half of my life. So when I think about like going home and eat something, the people will want to eat sushi, we want to eat ramen, something that, that we go home and eat. But then nowadays, you can't actually go to a nice restaurant. For example, in New York City, you can go to a nice restaurant and try something authentic, but we can never ever find this food anywhere here. We can find something similar, but we can't find exactly the same thing. And and also, I think it's because such a special dish. Something happens like my birthday, or maybe when my mom gets off work early and she has a lot of time to prepare. I do remember her cooking something like this, um, for us, like me and my brother. So that's something that I think about when I go home, not like Japan, but my home.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that I one of the few dishes that I request my mom to make. I think it's more of a reminder for my family and
Family.
a family meal. And like I said, that I haven't lived there for a very long time. I left my home when I was 15.
Oh.
And so ever since I haven't lived with my parents, I was always going back there to spend a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But then I have never really lived there. Kind of like you. You're going to boarding school. I went to a school just like that. Difficult question because I never really thought about it. I think just the joy.
The joy.
Yeah. The When I think about it though, it's a mixed feeling. I feel homesick. I feel nostalgic. I feel sad sometimes. We're so far away.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now, I can't go home. My family cannot come here and visit. It's difficult.
Yeah.
But when I eat it, it's just a pure joy that wow, it's been a long time that I'm enjoying every bite.